few words was, this is George Lundeen. We're done. But there's a lot of people that put this together, and if you look at these folders here, there's a little story on the yellow sheet of paper about how all of this came together. So we started planning this. Corliss and I, we did when was the Vegas thing we did? 2017 something?
2018, I think.
2018.
That's what the yellow sheet says.
Huh?
I'd like to hand you the yellow sheets.
Yeah, I mean, I wrote that, so I may have to read from it. But that was the thought behind this whole thing, is on the yellow sheet, and why we decided to go with this format. And so when we were in Vegas, Corliss and I were talking about if we were to have, or the next reunion, if it was up to us. Hi, Teresa, how are you? Yeah, if we were to have the next reunion, what would we want to do? So we kind of jotted down on a piece of paper everything we wanted to do, and this is what everything we wanted to do, right? Even including the popcorn machine.
Pretty close.
Yeah, pretty close to what we wanted to do. And then Calvin, he was the, you know, once you mention something to Calvin, the conversation just goes on. So then when we left Vegas, Calvin and Corliss and I, we kept
Don't
contact.
worry, Cal, you'll get the microphone.
But you'll get it like at 10:50. Wait a minute, there's Calvin. So we kept in contact and kept planning this, and then so the first thing was, where are we going to have it? And I had talked to Bob Johnston, who's not here. Thanks, Bob. Hi, Kathy. And so Bob at one time had said, Dennis, we have another class reunion back in Holdrege. What do you think? And I said, I'm not going. I'm not going to go to it. Because we go back there, we meet together for an hour, and then everybody goes home. And I never get a chance to talk to anybody. So when we do it, we're going to have it for multiple days, where you just sit around, drink coffee or whatever, and just, you know, lie to each other for the next 2 hours. Yeah, right? And then we thought, well, we've got to keep people honest, so then we came up with the memory room to keep everybody honest. And it just kept, and then BJ back there, she heard about it from you, I guess. And
Calvin.
Oh, from Calvin, yeah. So there are a lot of people that said, we would like to be involved one way or another. Well, way back then, we didn't know what we were doing for sure. So to say, okay, you can be involved and do this, we didn't know what we were doing, honestly, right? We knew generally what we were doing, but we didn't know for sure what we were doing. So then I talked to Corliss and I said, I don't know where we're gonna have this because I don't have room for it. And, you know, we can do it at Bruce's house, but he never responded to our email. And so then Corliss said, oh, I think I can find a place for us. So then she found this place. I came down almost 2 years ago. Yeah.
Well, you come this summer too.
Huh?
June this summer you did too.
Yeah, so we came down, looked at this, and Corliss said, well, if we want to hold a reunion here, we need to rent it now. And that was 2 years ago.
Yeah, that's right. Awesome.
Yeah, so 2 years ago, we were committed financially to this, to what we're doing. And fortunately, it ended up being a really, really good place. Now, the other thing was, and I gotta say this right, so nobody misinterprets this, is I said, when we have this reunion, I don't want anybody paying anything, because we have some people that, well, most of us now are retired. And I said, I don't wanna hit anybody up for a $60 dinner, because a lot of people spend $800 on an airplane ticket. So we decided to just make it no charge. And that's when the donation charge came out. So, you know, of course, the first thing George goes is, you know, he gets out that wad of hundreds, and he's going, well, I wanna contribute, okay. So,
I gave him $5.
all in one, yeah. And I made him count them out. So, there is no real charge for anything that I'm aware of, unless somebody starts a
GoFundMe.
yeah, if you want to come to my house, it's gonna be $20 and, here's my address. And Bruce is going, 20, that's what I said, 40. Yeah, so, that was kind of the thought behind anything, so anybody that has extra change, folding bills or anything, that's what these donation jars are for. You know, it's time to get back to those in the class that can't give to the other members. Did I say that right?
Close enough.
Yeah, my little brother over there, he just sits back there waiting for me to screw up, yeah. Oh, yeah. So we got these hats, and these are staff hats, and I said, if you wanna be on the staff and help, you gotta have a hat, so, of course, I had to buy him a hat. So then, I
For the
bought him a
privilege
hat
of blowing
down
up
here for
balloons.
staff, and I don't know what he's gonna do yet, but, and the one there holding the phone up for you that don't know, that's Lindsay, my daughter. My only daughter.
We don't know where she got the good looks from, but, no, it was her mother.
Well, yeah. Well, then I'd be having to bring in the ex-wife swan. Yeah, she did, she got her looks from her mom. So Lindsay has been my only child, and right now she's my best friend. We do lots of stuff together all the time. We still do father-daughter date night, go to the movies, all that stuff. What am I putting, George?
Good to go. Tell me when to start.
Okay, I'm starting to get a dry throat. When you see the lips move and nothing comes out, George, just grab the mic. Okay? The program is fairly loose. We didn't.
Is that the sign?
We're not gonna have any, I think Calvin, Doug Young's gonna be coming, right?
Yep.
And for those who don't know, he's the mayor. And so why would I ever know the mayor? Because I grew up living across the street with him, and when we were little kids, we'd play kick the can together when it got dark. So we had talked to Doug, I came down to see him one time, and said for the reunion, I'd like to have you just come and say something. I don't know what he's gonna say, but, so Doug will be coming one night to talk. I don't think we have any other guest speakers other than that. Oh, yeah, thanks. Too much straight water in there.
No, not yet.
Straight line.
There ain't nothing in that. So if there's somebody that you don't know and you're walking around, we had, name tag committee. Brenda worked on that. Kathy Mariner worked on that. Good job. Because I looked at my senior picture and I'm going, I haven't changed that much. But some of them have. And I'm not even gonna recognize them at all. So I thought we better do it again. But then we ran into the problem of, what about the kids that didn't graduate from Holdrege? There's no senior picture of them. And what about the kids that didn't take a senior picture? Because there's some of them couldn't afford it, right? There was no picture of them. What are we gonna do about spouses that didn't graduate from Holdrege? No picture of them. So, yeah. So it was, as this all evolved, it just snowballed into bigger and bigger and bigger stuff to do. So we finally got the name tag under control, and then, I told Corky, anything that you need, just do it. I'll cover you, don't worry about it, just do it. So, everything you see, like in this room and all this stuff, it's stuff that Corliss said, yeah, let's do this for the reunion, that's cool stuff, I like it. And so, a lot of it, you're seeing for the first time I saw it was yesterday, what this room is gonna look like. So I didn't know what the reunion's gonna look like until yesterday. A lot of these posters and stuff here, I went online and found a company that actually, they could make a custom poster with anything you wanted on it. So some, well, you know, one's 1948, 1966, and then there's some other posters on there, and I'll talk about those a little bit later. This welcome classmates of '66. At some point, we'll put a felt tip pen up there, and everybody can sign their name to the poster, or X. I don't care. But that's why that big long poster is there. The memories room more or less has articles, annuals, that kind of stuff. There are 3 CDs playing. There's one there, one here, and one in the other room. And they're just pictures that we got from all over the place. And then Mark's oldest son took all those pictures and formatted them together so they would all work. He changed the resolution, formatted them so you could put them into the right format. So, and this one we didn't do it here, but in the one back there, right by the screen, there's some DVDs. So if you're going, we'd really like to have a copy of this video, you can either take a DVD if that's what you still have, and you can just have it. And there's a little donation jar beside that. Just take it home. Or if you don't have a DVD, and you just have a little USB drive, there's a bunch of USB drives, and go ahead and take one of those and plug it into your laptop and load the file from the DVD or the drive to your laptop, and then you'll have one of these videos that, you know, if you want to look at it again. You know, Leonard said, yeah, I saw that, but it was online, it was on YouTube for a while, and I remember he was saying, yeah, I remember one night I woke up, and the next morning I woke up, and there's a video still playing. Yeah, cause it's like, either it was that boring or he was that tired.
48 minutes long.
Yeah, some
It
of
was
them are
only
like
a couple hours.
4 hours long, yeah.
Yeah,
But
if
there's
you
a lot
guys
of pictures in there, yeah, go ahead.
On that YouTube video, you know, I got a link on my phone, but if you wanna look at it on YouTube, it's called Holdrege '66 Schoolmates, and it's the slideshow. So you can, if you got a computer that gets YouTube, you can see it on YouTube as well. That's what you were talking
Yeah.
about. But yeah, it's like an hour and a half or a couple hours, yeah.
Yeah, and then, okay, well, I just lost my train of thought, so here's George. No. Boy, old George is just standing there.
Don't worry, he'll get it back.
I'm gonna turn this off.
So, like Corliss said, I made a couple trips back, because I live just north of Dallas now. Well, I live actually close to Brenda. She's somewhere in here, I don't know. Oh, there she is back there. I see a little tiny hand go up. But I live close to where Brenda lives, right close to Dallas. Going through to Dallas and to Holdrege. So I had to drive back a couple times because I didn't know what I had. So I drove back and we kind of looked at what the layout was and figured what we had to work with and what we have to rent and what we needed and how many decorations we needed and what we wanted to set up and all that stuff. So after what seems like years and years and years, this finally came together, didn't it? Yeah, this was at least, and I was talking to Greg here, this was at least 3 years in the planning from start to today. I mean, and Leonard, you know, he knows, several of you people would ask me, you know, is the reunion coming? And I'd have to call Corliss and say, how we coming on this? And she'd go, well, you know, I got the kitchen set up, we got the coffee pot, we got coffee and all that stuff, and we're gonna make sandwiches and stuff, and then for activities, we're gonna do this, we're gonna do that. Uh-oh, yeah, I'm getting a, yeah, oh, come on, Lundeen.
Almost my bedtime.
You're only
And-
for seniors.
Time for a nap.
Oh, I gotta keep going. Okay, so anyway, and then I got a lot of pressure, everybody's saying, is George gonna talk? And I said, no, I don't know, I haven't talked to him yet, so I don't know if he wants, I know he wants to talk, but I don't know if he's going to talk. And then everybody said, well, we wanna get one of his statues. And I said, George, now's the perfect time to put 50% discount on all the statues. You can get rid of all that excess in one night. So I just asked him, did you bring all that excess stock? No, it'll be here tomorrow. Yeah. You've been promising that for 2 years, George, so. And then a lot of people said, we don't know where George has statues, so we're actually going to take a tour. We have a little tour bus that we're gonna use and drive around Holdrege and stop and look at all his statues. And I said, well, this will be good because some of the class is gonna wanna get out, get a picture of the statue with them and Swan standing beside it. Or Mark if he's not too busy. Yeah, so that was the angle to get more people to come in with the promise that George was gonna have statues available. So, George,
Oh, am I up now?
no. But I think a lot of you will agree with me that the city kids didn't know the country kids, because they were from the country. And with the exception of Bruce and a few, and Rod and a couple other kids that had farm permits, and I know Teresa is actually younger than I am. I mean, if I was gonna call somebody up and ask them for a date, I'd say, I'd have to ask them if they had a bicycle. Either that or they were gonna ride on mine with me. And as a result, I didn't have very many days. What kind of car you got? A red Schwinn? Yeah. So then when Corliss and I were talking in Vegas, we kind of got to know each other, and I found out that Corliss and I had a lot of stuff in interest. And I said, Corliss, I'm just glad I didn't know you in high school, or we'd have never made it through high school. Yeah, because we had too much rebel in both of us.
What were you doing in Vegas?
Huh?
What were you doing in Vegas?
None of your business.
Well,
Days in Vegas.
yeah, about, I don't know, it was after the last 10-year reunion thing.
Yeah.
I'm going, you know, I really enjoy my classmates, but, you know, how many 10-year reunions can I wait before everybody's dead? So I said, well, Leonard didn't go. I was trying to think who I here to the cruise. Did you go? Anybody here go on the cruise?
Yeah.
I did.
Oh, my brother did, yeah.
He invited us.
Oh, yeah, I'm still getting it, come on.
Yeah, George.
So, we did a cruise. I organized a cruise. Leonard, you didn't go on it? No. So we had several people, we had probably 20 people that went on the cruise. And that was a lot of fun. And then a couple of years later, somebody said, and it was usually Nancy that would push me, would say, when are we gonna do this again? When are we gonna do this again? So after a couple of years, I thought, well, let's do just a get together in Vegas. So I got a casino and we stayed there for a week and got together, had breakfast together every morning, sat around and had coffee and the buffet, and that was a lot of fun.
So who was invited to Vegas?
Everybody, check your
Well,
email,
if
Marty.
you didn't check your email,
Yeah.
then you weren't, yeah.
I was gonna say her email's gonna.
Because the biggest
Didn't go
one.
through or something.
I got rooms in one of the casinos, and we all stayed in the same casino.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and we'd go down to we'd take a bus, go down to the strip, and then at the end of the day, we'd go eat. We went and saw the Blue Man Group one day, with a bunch of us, and some of the people wanted to go to the show and stuff, so.
I'm sorry I missed it.
Well, I can't tell you how many people said, "Where's Ronnie?" Well, maybe I can tell you how many said, "Where's Ronnie?" So that was the Vegas thing. And after the Vegas thing, when I was talking about Johnson, we found out how much fun it was just to sit down to have breakfast with as many of the classmates as we could. So, from the Vegas thing, talking to Corliss, then we said, well, in order to do something similar, we'll just, you and I will just head up the next reunion. And I didn't get any pushback that said, no, we want to do the reunion, nobody else volunteered. Now, Rod showed a little interest. I'll help you. Bruce didn't respond to my email. Okay. So, that's how all of this came about. So I've been asked, where are you gonna have the next one? And I said, I'm never gonna put on another one, because it's just way too much work. Especially when you live this far from Holdrege.
I'm just curious how many people might have got a phone call from Cal in the last year or two.
90%.
Bluetooth disconnected.
Yeah, it was pretty unanimous.
I was diligent. More persistent or a pain in the butt.
All of you are.
We had a real good turnout. A lot of people responded, yeah, they'd be showing up. We're still waiting for some of you to respond to see if you're actually gonna come or not. We don't know. But you're here, so we'll check you off, yes, you will be attending. Some people were, we were a little bit concerned that it was gonna be 5 days with the reunion. And I said, well, you know, we're not gonna ask anybody to get up and song and dance or anything. We just want you to sit there and drink coffee and talk to each other. That's all, you know. And then there, you know, we'll go and see the YMCA for those that haven't seen it. We'll go to the memorial at the South Park, the old Ball Diamond, and see that. What else? Oh, I was gonna ask you, what else?
Memorial at the We're gonna see the museum tomorrow.
Yeah, we're gonna go see the museum. So when you go into the memory room, in the back on that far wall, we have all these books that are there. And I've ordered maybe 8 or 10 of those books about Holdrege, and they're really, really good. But I thought, nobody's gonna buy these books unless they know the content in the books. So I bought, I don't know, half a dozen of them, and they are in there, laying on the table, wide open. And the intent is for people to go in there, grab those books, take them back to their chairs, read them, and see what's in them. And that way, if they like what's in the content of the books, just go ahead and steal it. No. It was when you get to the museum, buy that book. Now, I can tell you there's one book in there, it's about this thick, and it's the Phelps County, it's from the Phelps County Historical Society. I don't know if it's got a title to it, but if you want to get one of those books, that's the only place you can get them. You can't get them anywhere on the internet or anything. So I suggest that you look at that book in there, because they're like $20, and they're originally like $50. So look at them, and if your parents wrote something in that book when it came out, the history will be there. So if you wanna know who my grandparents were, I don't know why you'd wanna know that, but if you would want to know that, you can look and you can see all my relatives and who they are and where they were and who my dad was, and my aunts and uncles and who I was related to and stuff like that. And I actually found out I was related to people I didn't even know I was related to. And there's a lot about the different churches and that kind of stuff. No, now Swan's going. For those that don't know, Swan and I, you know, of course I've known George.
Sorry about that, guys.
But Swan and I, we both got drafted, and we didn't know we had been drafted, so we're getting on the train to go down to Omaha to get a physical, and guess who I'm sitting beside? Swan Lundeen. So I went through 3 years in the Army with Swan Lundeen. Fortunately, I ended up in Korea and he ended up in Germany, but, yeah, but Swan Lundeen and I got to know each other pretty well, just hanging out in the service. So now he sits there thinking, oh, you know, I'll boss him around a bit more. What about it, George? You ready to take over?
Ready to go.
Any questions on what we're doing? Or we have other things that, some of these posters here there's one in the other room that other people like, and it's called Slogans of the 60s or whatever it is. So,
Madam President, everybody, Madam President.
that's